once upon a time, there was a young girl, a high school senior, and she was pregnant, and she was not married. And her minister of the church of which she'd been born into and been baptized and participated in youth group, the church in which her parents had even been married. The minister went to the ladies' circle group, what we used to call CWF, and said to the CWF ladies, would y'all host a baby shower like you do for every other expectant mother in the church? And the executive committee of the CWF said, well, of course. Yeah, I saw you shaking your head. They said, of course. And a date was set. And the next week, a member of the circle group comes to the minister to speak privately about her concerns. You knew that was coming, didn't you? A baby shower, you see, would be a celebratory event. And young children, like the minister had, would see that as us condoning that kind of behavior. And she just didn't want her church to celebrate such a behavior. And the minister knew that she was quite serious and listened carefully and with deep compassion. And the woman thanked the minister for the time and got up to leave, and the minister went back to the desk and continued to work on the Christmas Eve worship service. Simeon and Anna is a strange story to use on this 2 days before Christmas. It seems a little odd to use a story about Jesus being 8 days old, 2 days before Christmas. But as you might suspect, there's method to my madness. I have a reason, right? Mary and Joseph. You heard me say that we're going to have this 4-year-old baby dedication for Hadley, and it worked out because her grandparents are here, but it seemed fitting that we were using Simeon and Anna for this day of when a child is brought to the temple. You know, Mary and Joseph knew, being good observant Jews, that this baby dedication as ritual would be expected of them on the 8th day. And I wonder, and this is why I've got it 2 days before Christmas, I wonder if as they're nesting and getting prepared and doing all the things that they were trying to do before the baby came, if they asked themselves the question about how that whole baby dedication-esque ritual thing would go on the 8th day. Would they be welcomed? Would Simeon and Anna, who represented the temple leadership, would they look askance at their baby? Would they shoo away their little family? Maybe they were comforted by the fact that they didn't have to take baby Jesus to the local parish where all the gossips lived. Maybe there was some comfort in having to go down to Jerusalem where you can be a little more anonymous. I wonder if these were the questions they whispered to one another as they waited for the baby to come, as they knew that 8th day was coming. And of course, all they could do was wait. They would only find out what would happen on the 8th day. And I wonder if when they got up that morning on the 8th day to go to the temple, would they go with apprehension? Would they go with nerves? Would they go uncertain as to how the entire morning would unfold? I wonder these things. You know, these are things that expectant mamas wonder about. In the days before she gives birth, these are the things that expectant fathers wonder about too. They certainly weren't expecting the reception they got. As Shelley read, they were, what was the exact word? They were astonished by what Simeon said to them. In Eugene Peterson's Message paraphrase, it says they were speechless with surprise at Simeon's words. Anna and Simeon welcomed this tiny human and his precious family without any question. And you may think, well, of course they did, Stacey. It's the baby Jesus. It's Emmanuel. God with us. Of course they welcomed the baby Jesus. But this was long before they knew that this little baby would grow up to be a man that would preach to those same people in that very temple about when you welcome the stranger among you, you welcome Jesus. When you provide kindness and compassion to the least of these, you do this to Jesus. This was long before he would annoy and irritate those in the temple with his words. This was long before, they welcomed him long before he would turn water into wine at their parties and feed thousands of people. And I wonder if Simeon and Anna went to the temple that morning expecting it to be just another day, doing their ordinary, everyday rituals that they did in the temple. I wonder if the people, if their friends and neighbors believed them when they told them this story, or did they say, oh, that's Simeon, confused. He's getting on in the years. We got to scale back his work schedule. He's clearly sleep deprived. Bless you. I wonder if they were simply ignored. These are the things I wonder. I was wondering all of this a few weeks ago. We hosted, I suppose you could say, the Transgender Day of Remembrance event. I say we hosted, but we didn't really do anything. I mean, that's my language, right? We didn't really do anything. We just opened the doors for whomever it was that needed a safe place to be. There were folks that were confusing to me. What were they called, Ryan? The Perpetual Sisters of...
Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence.
The Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence were here. I'm still not sure I understand, but I adore them. Not mine to do. It's just mine to do to open the doors of our building as wide as the doors of God's heart and provide a safe space for all the people. There was not a sermon, there was not a program, there was not anything. There was coffee, of course, because we do have good manners. And it was cold. It was the November from below zero Hades that night. We just welcome people. People who might otherwise have been skeptical about whether they were welcomed. People perhaps like Mary and Joseph were skeptical about how they might be welcomed, how their baby might be welcomed. We need welcomers. More and more every day we need welcomers. People who will open up the doors of their heart as wide as the doors of God's own. I wonder so many things about this story. We get so little information. It's open-ended for us, of course, to wonder. It makes us wonder about who might be knocking on our door to be welcomed. We never know to whom a welcome might be required. A few weeks ago, we had a woman at 10:30. She didn't know on that morning that she would be here, that she found this sister church. She doesn't live here, but her mother was over at KU. They didn't know that that very week would be her mother's last. And she found us that morning, and she's been emailing me over the last several weeks because of the welcome she found here. We didn't know what was going on at KU. We just knew that we opened the doors for whomever might need a safe place, to be however they might be. We need welcomers like Anna and Simeon in these days. We never know what relationship might be gained, what kindness might be offered, what smile and a good morning might mean to somebody. We've needed many different kinds of people over the last several weeks, and on this day before Christmas, this Christmas Eve, we once again need welcomers of the Christ child. Welcomers who will open their hearts and their very lives to love being born in each of us. How will you welcome the Christ child this week, my friends? And how will you welcome the Christ child not just this week, but all year long? Because you never know. The Christ child you meet, the Christ child you welcome, might just be in need of a baby shower. Because that one got one, you can be sure. A baby shower, no matter their age. May it be so for us this Christmas. Amen.